Yep, next on the MARR Army Rock Show. As soon as I saw these guys take the main stage up there at Rockfest, I knew I wanted to get them on the show. And tonight, I'm very happy to have Justin from Standing Alliance with us. They're out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Their Revisions EP was released digitally on July the 6th. Justin, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going today, man?
It's going great here on the East Coast. We're out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, but man, Rockfest is one of our favorite events of the year. I was thrilled seeing you guys out there. So for folks that are new to your band, give us a little bit of the bio of the band about your history and your formation.
Oh, geez. So our project has been 6 years in the making. As of right now, been through a couple band member changes. And now we've finally got complete over the last year and a half. So joined with our drummer, Kevin Lindau. Mike Mountain is what his tag name is on the social media, but Mike Hill is his real name. Jeff Shaw, our guitar player, and then Dave Beckman on bass. And what's been really cool is we're just a collective group of musicians that are from the local Minneapolis scene and have been playing. Each one of us has at least 7 years of being in local bands, playing shows, playing with national acts. And I think what's really cool about this music and what's really wonderful is that we've all just embraced it, took it on, and finished this album finally and are ready to go out there and just show everybody what we've been working on and really excited to play. That's really what it comes down to.
So I'm going to ask you more about the album in just a minute, but first I want to get to where I first found you, which is Rockfest. It's one of our favorite festivals. We've been there 7 years in a row now, and fate kind of landed you on the main stage. Was that a pleasant surprise?
It's definitely a pleasant surprise. I'll tell you, that was unexpected. We were slotted to play the 12:15 slot in the What's on Top stage, and we got a phone call saying, hey, we had a band cancel. I know this is last minute. Would you guys be willing to jump on the main stage? And we said, absolutely. So that's what we did. We got up there.
And I think for a lot of folks, did you find that a lot of folks experienced your band for the first time because of that leap? I know it's how I found you.
I would say yes. Being that we've only played a handful of shows locally, and our music hasn't really been out there yet up until we've started to release our album and our official album EP release August 25th here in Fridley, Minnesota. Nobody really has seen us. We've had fans that have been following us and been waiting a long time, but I would say Rockfest was a great introduction to those folks that have never heard of us before. Now,
have you had the pleasure, you're from that area, have you been to Rockfest personally before?
Oddly enough, that is my first Rockfest experience. I've done X-Fest, I've done Edge Fest, I've done Ozfest, but never Rockfest. So what a pleasant experience to get up there, and I know the rest of the guys can echo what I would say, but how crazy is that to go camp at Rockfest for the first time, and next thing you know, you're playing the main stage. It was just it was really eye-opening and just a beautiful experience.
What were some of the better points of that festival for you? I brag about that festival to people all the time. What was some of your favorite parts of the experience?
Well, I got to start with so we actually were one of the few local bands that did the full 3-day camping experience from Thursday to Saturday. So I want to start there. We ended up meeting all of our neighbors around us that were just like in the 4 to 5 6 space campsites, and we just ended up hanging out with our neighbors the whole time. And then it was really weird because they were like, what are you guys doing here? And we're like, we're actually playing tomorrow. And they're like, no way. So they were just like, oh, let me hear your band. So, we actually have our physical CD, and that was our soft release of our physical copy of the EP. So we ended up, getting new fans that way. We're handing out discs and we're hanging out. And I will say a few of us stayed up a little later than anticipated a few of those nights. Including myself, I was just kind of wrapped up in all the fun. So I would say that was, the first thing is just how cool it was to hang out with those folks and camp and enjoy that. But, I got to tell you, I pulled the guys aside, and once we found out we were playing main stage, I was like, you guys ever heard of this thing like side stage? And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, well, you ever go see a band on the main stage but stand on the side with them while they're playing? And they're like, what? I was like, let's go do it for Godsmack. So we actually snuck, I don't know if we snuck, but either way, we got backstage and watched the whole Godsmack set from the side. And the pyrotechnics are going off, and it was, a few of us, there was 3 of us that were back there, and it was out of control how cool that experience is. And being a longtime musician for 13 years now, and to finally be able to do that, it was kind of like a bucket list item. So it was awesome. It was awesome. And then lastly, I think the best experience is just we're kind of like a little brotherhood in our band. We're just a bunch of dudes that love to play rock music, metal music, and to get up and do that with each other, I think for all of us was really special.
Hey, so good reflections there from what sounds like an absolute blast. I mean, I had a blast too, and I wasn't doing some of the things you were doing, but hey, the Revisions EP, man, so tell folks a little bit more about it. How long's it been in the making? Where was it recorded and produced? That good stuff.
Holy smokes. So the album is 6 years in the making.
Wow.
3 drummers later, 3 bass players later, and 3 singers later. And it literally was just myself and Jeff, the other guitar player. He does a lot of the lead work on it. And him and I stuck it through while everybody else kind of just, like musicians, musicians have things, and some of them just couldn't stick with us. They were great additions, but they couldn't stick it through, and it is what it is. But Jeff and I stuck it out, and we kept recording, and we recorded our guitars. We had the drums laid down first, and then once the band kind of fell apart, Jeff and I just said, well, we got these drums, so let's just play guitar to the drums. So we went and had the drums recorded at a studio here in Minneapolis. And then we did all of the guitar tracking in-house, and all of the vocal tracking in-house, all of the bass tracking in-house. Was then mixed mixed by our good friend Ian Combs, and then mastered by another good friend of ours from a production company. So really, really cool. Mr. Sherrard is his name. Really good master technician. We met him through a friend of a friend of a friend. Once again, I want to say brotherhood, right? So a lot of us just kind of keep in touch and keep our music tight and have a lot of friends. So a lot of the actual recording and mixing and mastering was done in-house. So we were able to, it's kind of self-produced. I went to McNally Smith for production engineering and recording. The other guitar player in my band, Jeff Shaw, he's picked up home recording. So we kind of all have this collective technical way of being able to do stuff. So we were able to figure out most of that on our own. All the way down to the artwork. The artwork was all designed in-house. So really kind of, do it yourself. We take a lot of pride in that. So the album is literally 6 or 5 songs that was literally written by musicians throughout the last 6 years. We just didn't want to let it go, and Joe Erickson played drums on it, and we kept it alive and just didn't give up on it.
Well, good job hanging in there for all those years. Now, with the kind of interesting formation of your band, what's your plans for the rest of 2018? Now that you've had what I would say good success at Rockfest, are you guys going to start doing a bunch more shows as this lineup now?
What I'm really stoked about is the future. So we got our EP release coming up August 25th that we're going to be rocking at Route 47 in Fridley, Minnesota there. And then after that, I think, actually, oddly enough, we're going to go right back to the studio again and start getting ready for our second EP and potential album. So the goal is to hopefully be able to roll out music every year and a half, every 2 years, every year. But we already have a whole another album's worth of material written. And with some of the new members that have joined, Mike Mike Hill and Kevin is specifically, excited to start writing stuff with them. It's a group collaboration. We all kind of get in a room and bring riffs and just kind of work it out and make it happen. So that's the rest of what 2018 looks like. A few peppered in shows there. We're currently doing the Next to Rock competition on 93X. So that's our local Minnesota radio station. You can go to 93x.com, look up Next to Rock, and you can vote for our band right there. That's open till the 29th of July. The winners of that, they fly out to LA. We'll play a show here in Minnesota. If we win that, we go out to LA. We rock a show in LA. If that we end up winning that, we get a record contract and play with Stone Sour here in Minnesota. So that's our next big thing aside from our EP release.
Hey, man, that's a good roadmap for a band. And, hey, I got to tell you, man, Justin, I really enjoyed seeing you guys perform live on the main stage at Rockfest. You were a pleasant surprise to us. We were going to go up to the side stage and see you anyway, but then with the lineup change that day, we caught you right there on the main stage. They are Standing Alliance from Minneapolis, Minnesota. You can pick up their Revisions EP right now on your digital outlets, or if you want to go to their release show on August 25th in Fridley, Minnesota, which I've actually been to before, believe it or not, you can go see them there. So, Justin, thank you so much for being on the show this evening. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Rocky, I really appreciate it, dude, and thank you for your time. And thanks for listening, most importantly. It's always a wonderful, pleasant surprise to, have people that you didn't even know paying attention. So, if anything, it's a gift to us, and we are just so grateful to be able to do this and just play some kick-ass metal music and make it happen, man. So we couldn't do that without you guys and without the fans, and hopefully this is only an indication of how we continue to move forward.
Hey, Justin, man, thanks a lot for being on the show.
Yeah, man. Have a great day.